Okay, up here we've got a classic right angle there, you'll see. It's a right angle because it's got a square down in this bit here. So the actual angle is a square. And we would call that a right angle. That is what we would call a right angle. Over here, now you've got different angles, don't you? I mean, this one over here is of course sharper than a right angle, isn't it? You'll see that it's the angle here it's much pointier than this one, isn't it? Okay, so because that's a sharper angle, we actually call it an acute angle. We call it an acute angle. I'll write those down for you in a moment. So you've got your right angle here, it's like just a square angle, and you've got your acute angle because it's smaller than a right angle, it's sharper. And down here, you've got one that's, well, it's actually fatter than a right angle. That's the only polite way to say it. It's bigger, it is fatter than a right angle. We actually call it an obtuse angle. It's a bit like an obese angle, actually, if you want to remember that, but it's much fatter, so it's obtuse. And sometimes when someone's actually very fat, we call them obese, so you can remember they're obese and these angles are obtuse, sort of the same word. This angle here, this is an interesting one, and I'm just going to have a close look at this one with you. At first glance, it seems like that's just another obtuse angle, but really what's happened here is the angle's gone all the way around there. So what we're actually looking at here is this angle here. Okay, and those angles that go all the way around actually past 180 degrees, we call them reflex angles. We call them reflex. Let's just label those now. Okay, so they're Okay, so they're labelled there for you. You've got your right angle, you've got your acute angle, you've got your obtuse angle, it's fatter than a right angle, and your reflex angle has gone all the way around. And I actually realised we've missed out an angle, so I better just pop that one in there for you. Let's have a look at this type of angle. There you go. Okay, and this angle, of course, is just a straight angle. It's just a straight angle. And just so you're not tricked, what has happened is this was maybe a right angle and it's gone all the way around to a straight angle. And I wonder if you're clever enough just to know how big a straight angle is in degrees. We don't call it 90 degrees. It's actually two right angles, isn't it? It's 180 degrees. Okay, that's called a straight angle. And in fact, because we're talking about degrees, you better go and label the other ones as well. Let's go back and have a look at those. Okay, and here you go. I've just written this down for us. So when we look at our protractor, this will all make sense. A right angle is 90 degrees. That's how we measure angles in degrees. So the square angles here, they're 90 degrees. If it's bigger than 180 degrees, right, but not quite 360 degrees, we call it a 180 degree. Well, we call it a reflex angle. If it's less than 90 degrees, we call it an acute angle, and of course if it's an obtuse, it's more than 90 degrees, but not quite a straight angle, which is over here, isn't it? And there's our straight angle, which is perfectly 180 degrees. And if you're thinking, what do all these degrees mean, Mr. Burns? You've totally lost me. Well, let's have a look what they do mean with our old friend, the protractor. And here's a protractor, and let's just have a look here. I'll just move it into position. You see this little target down the middle, that's got to go right in the heart of the angle, so I'll pop that there. There you go, and it's got to be flat. This line down here has got to sit on the bottom line of the angle. So this line here has got to sit here on the angle, and this target here has got to go right there, right on the angle. So let's move it, and you should be able to see that. Yes, okay, it's all lined up nicely. This here should say 0. Oh, whoops-a-daisy. Well, there it says 0, and of course up there it says 90. So that's why that's a 90-degree angle. Let's go and have a look at another one. Oh, whoops-a-daisy. Let's go and have a look at this one. I'll just move it for us. Oh, there you go, the little target down there. Line up the target. You've got to line up the target right with the angle, and you've got to put this bottom line of the protractor right on the angle as well. Line it up just neatly there. Good, there it is. So that's 0 all the way over to, that's 110 degrees. You should be able to see that. Let's measure this acute angle over here just for some fun. Let's go over there. Okay, I have to move it so it's, ooh, line her up nicely, because remember this bottom line's got to go on the angle. So is that good enough? Oh, it's not good enough, is it? Yeah, that's good now. Good. Okay, and targeting exactly, lock in, good. So that's actually about between 40 and 30, so we'd call that 35 degrees, wouldn't we? Okay. All right, now we're actually going to have a closer look at how to measure angles in a moment. So we're about to do that bit now. So you can pause me and go on with your recognising right angles and reflex angle work, or you can keep watching and learn about how to measure angles correctly. Let's have a look at that. Oh, let's have a go at this straight angle. We didn't really get to measure that, did we? Let's just have a look at that. Okay. And you can see, of course, it actually goes straight from 0 all the way around to 180 there, and that's why it's a 180 degree angle. Okay, see, 0, 180, goes all the way around. Okay, well, let's have